Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Darkest Hour Dynasties. Last time, we, of course, had a really tough ending against the Braves after what was a season really of underperformance. So this year, we're going to be looking to build upon our core. We've acquired, of course, some guys who are going to help fill some of our bigger issues on the last episode. And ideally, we can bring the team to a more successful World Series, get development, or actually get a World Series, I should say, get some development out of some of our key players, and maybe call up some top prospects like Mike Trout, who's not too far off, and Jake Arrieta, who should be at least up for spring training again. Frankly, center field with Willie Taveras is probably our biggest weakness right now, but his defense is just so darn good, we can't really afford to lose him. I'm honestly not sure what we're going to do with Trout. Either Jackson or Marquez is going to have to go, and that's going to be a tough decision to make. I'm pretty happy with the team as it stands. Ultimately, we just really need some of our pitchers to come around a little more. We got so much potential in these guys to unlock, and it really stinks that we don't have a better pitching coach, but realistically, there's not too much we can do. We just need some guys to make some big jumps, and we should be able to unlock our next level of play. So, with that, I'm not sure if we have any major moves that we need to make at the beginning of the offseason, but we'll be taking a look at the free agent pool, of course. And with limited financial space, we only have so much that we can do right now. Okay, we are here at the first year player draft, and we're going to have to see if we can get some good talent picking 26th overall, as it has been with the past few years. Pretty thin talent behind guys like Christian Yelich, who is certainly not going to slip to us. So it looks like the top players still available include Whit Merrifield, Evan Gattis, Kenys Vargas. So yeah, there's still some good hitters here. Let's take a look at the pitcher side. Okay, so we've got plenty of good relievers in Aroldis Chapman. Addison Reed looks really good. Chris Sale. I don't know how Chris Sale is still available. What on earth? This is almost certainly going to be our selection right here. Chris Sale, just with absolutely sky high potential. Yeah, that's going to be probably the steal of the draft. For starting pitchers, other than Sale, Chad Bettis is still available. Keith Couch, not too bad. Alex Kaminsky. We've got Aaron Sanchez, Dylan uh, Unsworth, who would probably be my pick if Sale wasn't still here, but obviously no question that it's got to be Sale. Okay, so let's take a quick look at batters. No three-star batters left. We're probably going to go with another pitcher here. Just going to take a quick look through. Yeah, I don't think we're likely to take another batter here. All right, so Tommy Conley is also here. Hector Neris looks all right. Sean Tullison, not too bad. Terrence Martin looks good. Ramos looks good. Let's see. All of the good, or out, I should say, really strong starting pitchers have been drafted. So I think it's going to come down to Aroldis Chapman or Addison Reed. I think Addison Reed's just a really well-rounded reliever, whereas Chapman is really stuff heavy. But ironically, Chapman actually has a better personality than Reed, so that makes this a really tough choice. I think Chapman's a lot more likely to hit his potential too, just because, well, combination of his work ethic and the fact that he already basically has his stuff, which is his biggest tool developed. But it is really tough to say no to Addison Reed right now. This guy could be arguably one of the best relievers in the game. I think we're going to go Chapman here and hope that Reed, by some miracle, falls to our third round pick. He will not, as expected, unfortunately. All right, now for the top relievers left, we've got Takanashi. I'm not a huge fan of. I think Marin may be the pick here. I like Hector Neris too, but I think we're gonna go with Terrence Maris. Now, Maris just has so much stuff compared to him. I think we'll go with Neris here and then see who's left. Marin's still available, so we're gonna get another outstanding relief pitcher here. All right, Ramos is still available. We still got. I don't like the personality on Takahashi, but he is a quality reliever now. Alex Claudio, he's pretty good. Domingo Armand. I mean, this guy's got starting pitcher potential, which means something, especially at this point in the draft. I don't like sitting. I think we'll take a quick look at hitters, see if there's any. Yeah, there really probably are literally no good hitters left. So I think at this point, we're going to go with Domingo Armand just because he could eventually develop into a starting pitcher. and that is going to be a pretty important. That could make him a lot more valuable, I should say. Okay, we got Boxberger, Barnes. We've got a couple of guys here. I'm not too thrilled with the selection remaining. This is the sixth round, so I think this will be the last pick that we make manually. I think it's got to be Barnes here. He just looks better than all the other options. All right, so we'll go through the rest of the draft and then go ahead to the Rule 5 draft. All right, well, the Rule 5 draft is over, and I accidentally forgot to show it. But we took 4 players, a couple of them who I think are going to be really good, and a couple that are just to try out. Eric O'Flaherty is the big land in this draft. He's got ridiculous potential as a reliever, could be one of the top guys in the league. Love the fastball, sinker, slider, high movement, high control. Those things all together should make him very effective. Overall ratings aren't too bad. Next up, we've got Eduardo Nunes, who's going to essentially, or it's probably Nunez, I'm sure they're just missing the tilde. He's a top 100 prospect. He's going to probably be in contention for a utility infield spot. Good hitting potential, solid fielding. We then took Henry Rodriguez. Yes, guys, I'm doing it again. I'm really going to regret it, but we're taking another guy who's a reliever with just no ratings. This is the same thing as Kenley Jansen. He is a little more developed as a reliever than Jansen was, but this has potential to backfire on us this year like Jansen did last year. And then we've got Archimedes Caminero, who could just be a middle leverage bullpen piece. He's not bad. He's got solid ratings with potential to grow. Only 22, so nice haul in the Rule 5 draft this year. We've had some of our draft picks start to sign. Chris Sale has signed, which is great because this is easily our best prospect now. He's going to be easily one of the best pitchers in the league, probably within a year or two. So yeah, Chris Sale, guys, Chris Sale. Just a quick update, our top free agent target, Edwin Jackson, has signed his contract. So this is going to be a guy who can, at the worst, help stabilize our rotation. And he does have some pretty solid upside to be a pretty good pitcher. He's also a fan favorite, so he boosts our interest, which is nice. And he's on a cheap deal. There's pretty much no downside to this. It's great to have him here helping out our organization. All right, we are in spring training and we have got our roster set up. So our spring training rotation is going to be composed of Zach Greinke, who looks very close to hitting his monstrous potential. And after an incredible season, which should have won him the Cy Young, quite honestly, we're hoping that his 2010 follow-up can come to that same benchmark. Charlie Morton looking pretty good. It looks like he'll be at least a solid near top of the rotation starter, and if he can build upon his sub 300 ERA from last season, that would be excellent. Craig Stammen's going to be getting a shot. I'm honestly thinking he's one of our least secure starting pitchers at this point. He's got the potential, but he's not going to be anything more than the mid-rotation starter at this point. He's really got to work to get up there. Josh Johnson. This is one of the pitchers I was most encouraged by looking at our spring training roster. He's come a long way in terms of his movement current rating, and he looks like he could actually start to make gains towards his very high potential. Anibal Sanchez, I'm still kind of disappointed. He is, along with Melanson, the most likely to lose a rotation spot this spring. He's just, I think he could use more time in the minors. He just needs to develop. Jake Arrieta, he's coming very close to hitting his potential. He is one of the players most likely to win a rotation spot who did not currently have one heading into the season. He's only got a little ways to go before I'd be really confident in him as a starter. Now, as for our other guys that we're really looking at, Edwin Jackson is going to be starting the season as a stopper because I'm pretty confident he's just going to be a reliable guy. I don't really need to see him get reps as a starter in order to feel like he's going to be a good pitcher this season. He almost certainly has a rotation spot locked up. So I'd say right now, Greinke, Morton, and Johnson are our locks along with Jackson. So that leaves one rotation spot open. that Anibal Sanchez, Jake Arrieta, Josh Johnson, and Chris Sale will be the primary contenders for. I just want to point out real quick here, Justin Masterson will also be fighting for that spot, and he shouldn't be discounted. If he can make gains on his stuff and movement, he could be a very real possibility to win that last spot. But I'm really excited to see Chris Sale in spring training. He hasn't made massive gains yet, but he's already got really good ratings, and if he can improve them even just a little bit at 20 years old, which is a lot younger than a lot of our top pitchers, he could be in contention for an opening day rotation spot, which would be absolutely ridiculous. Um, we've got a lot of guys on our roster this year. So Mark Melanson's been continuing to improve. That I like a lot. One big thing I noticed is Sergio Romo has busted officially. He's no longer even really a viable reliever. This is probably going to be his last season in the organization, and he will be spending it in the minors. Pretty disappointing for a guy that we had the hopes of being one of the best relievers in the game. We're going to be giving Kenley Jansen and Henry Rodriguez extended looks this spring. I want to develop Rodriguez as much as possible before we stick him into basically an emergency role where he will hardly be getting any opportunities to pitch. Jansen's certainly going to start the year in the minors, but he's only 22. While he had a really horrible rookie year, his ratings have actually developed somewhat, and I have hopes that he can become one of the premier relievers in the league still. So that's exciting. We are also going to be giving looks to some of our recent draftees, such as where are they? Aroldis Chapman, I'll just go to this side. He's going to be coming up, and we're hoping to see him pitch. We're also going to be looking at a couple of our other interesting prospects. It looks like Aroldis Chapman is going to be the big name for the recent draftees, but yeah, ideally, what I'm hoping to see this spring, Mike Trout battling for a roster spot. Hoping to see Chris Sale battle for a roster spot, but I'm also hoping we get some big development out of Josh Johnson, Craig Stammen, and Anibal Sanchez. I want the fight for the roster spot, the last roster spot, to be between Sanchez and Stammen. I'm really hoping that these guys with big potential can actually hit it, and that they clearly win out for that last rotation spot, that they make it a really tough decision on who actually gets it. All right, with that, we'll start going through our spring trading. When opportunity comes knocking, you answer. And today we have the opportunity to trade for one of the game's most brilliant young pitchers in Felix Hernandez. So, yes, King Felix is going to be coming to the Diamondbacks this year. We're going to be sending over actually quite sizable package. Connor Jackson, one of the better affordable outfielders of the game, is going to be the premier along with Edwin Jackson, Craig Stammen, and Matthew Sartor. I ultimately decided to trade Stammen because, I mean, he's aging. We have a lot of pitchers that are really similar to him and not enough roster spots, so I don't have too much of a problem giving him up. Jackson, I mean, if we're getting King Felix, it's okay to give up a year of a reliable starting pitcher. Connor Jackson, he's a big player, but Mike Trout's ready to take his spot. And Matthew Sartor, good reliever, but I mean, honestly, he's not a great reliever, and they value him very highly. So we're going to be adding King Felix and a lot of money. It's going to be tough to pay him going forwards, but I mean, this is one of the best pitchers in the game. There's just no question. We absolutely have to get him. I'm going to point out that the reason he's available is that he did tore his labrum. So that's going to be a factor. He will not be pitching for us this season, but when he comes back next year, we're going to have another ace on our staff along with Greinke. A genuine top tier ace without question will be Felix. So this trade just a massive acquisition for our franchise, and I am thrilled to add Felix. I accidentally went through with the contract without showing it on the video, but after seeing Robinson Cano's success in the summer or the spring training and his ratings just keep getting better, I decided to give him a $12.5 million a year extension for several seasons. That's basically on par with what we gave Greinke um, and Markakis, so a little lower than Markakis actually. So hopefully we could continue to see production from Cano as our starting second baseman, and he can lead us to greater success than we saw using Justin Turner last season. Very minor trade here. We're going to be sending Miguel Olivo, a catcher who's not really a catcher, 31-year-old guy, over to the Detroit Tigers in return for prospect Danny Worth, who's basically just a utility infielder with spark plug personality, so not a bad pickup. And $10,000, it's literally just a house cleaning thing. This transaction is not very important at all. As expected, Robinson Cano has in fact signed his contract, which is going to add a large amount of money to our payroll. We are going to be over budget next year. It's going to be kind of difficult to maneuver within the budget, but we're going to be running payrolls of around $110 million for the next 4 years, which we obviously can't sustain. So it's going to be interesting to see how we can manage to make such a high payroll work with this franchise. All right, a very exciting thing here. We are going to be giving Mike Trout a 10-year contract extension, which will go through only his age 29 season as he comes out at an astounding 18 years old, making his debut. Trout's going to be a fixture in our outfield for a long time. I mean, his offensive upside is basically the same as Joey Votto. You can see by the ratings, and Votto's been like a 6 WAR guy at first base. So I would not be surprised to see Mike Trout continually hitting 8 WAR, maybe getting close to 10 WAR in left field with good base running and solid defense. Number one prospect in baseball, as usual. I mean, Mike Trout, he's going to have a hard time doing what he did in real life, but frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if he's close to it. And hopefully, we could get that same level of consistency from him as well. One thing I want to point out here before we get into the regular season, Troy Tulowitzki's spring training. It's been downright outstanding. The big thing we've been hoping for from Tulo is the offense to come around, and it looks like it has. He's had an outstanding job getting the bat on the ball and hitting for average. He's got some power. He's drawing walks. If he can do this during the season, it's going to be a really good year for Tulo. And obviously with his quality defense, likely at third base this season, I think we're looking at a really strong performance coming up from him offensively and defensively. So that's exciting stuff. Okay, we're at opening day here, and our roster has been decided. So we're going to have an opening day lineup of Joe Mauer starting at catcher and batting leadoff. I expect another outstanding season out of him. I see no reason from the change of the 8+ WAR norm that he has been able to withstand. Troy Tulowitzki playing third base and batting second. I was really happy with his spring training, and he did manage to improve on his ratings, so I'm confident he can put together a strong season. Freddie Guzman is going to be our opening day right fielder, batting third. The thing about Guzman is he's filling in for the injured Nick Markakis. When Markakis is happy, he'll take over that spot in the lineup and in right field, and we will be demoting Guzman to AAA. Mike Trout will be batting cleanup and playing left field. The Trout era is here. I'm very excited to see what he can do. The power is obviously the biggest tool that he still needs to develop, but at only 18 years old, I'm not worried at all. We've got Joey Votto playing first base and batting fifth. He's definitely one of the best hitters in the league all around. I expect a huge season from him. We got Jason Bartlett playing shortstop and batting sixth. He doesn't look like he's going to be a strong hitter. That's not really what he's here for. Robinson Cano will be playing second base and batting seventh. I mean, the fact that this is our number 7 hitter says it all. We've got a really deep, good lineup, and I'm sure Cano is going to put together an awesome year. Pitcher spot eighth and batting ninth is the center fielder, Willie Taveras. At the least, he's going to bring elite speed and center field defense, which is exactly what we want to see. Our starting rotation is going to have Zach Greinke as the ace. That was a lock from well before the season began. I mean, 8.4 WAR, 8 WAR. He's set up to be one of the league's best pitchers for a while. Charlie Morton's going to be our number 2 pitcher. He looks like he's set up to at least have a solid season and career with room to grow into a pretty ace caliber guy, honestly. So I'm happy to see his improvements. Josh Johnson has earned a number 3 spot in our rotation. I'm not sure exactly what his ceiling is going to end up being, but at the least he seems like he can be a suitable mid-rotation starter. Jake Arrieta. The Arrieta era is also here, and we're actually going to be looking at extending him in the near future. But he will be our number 4 starting pitcher. His ceiling is similar to Morton's. His floor is also similar to Morton's. He's just a couple years younger, so a little better chance to reach that. But he pitched well in spring training, barring or excluding that one start against the Padres. Just an excellent job by Arrieta, and I'm confident in his ratings. I think he's poised for a good year. And Justin Masterson will be our number 5 starter. Now, notably, we are missing if I can find him in the minors. Anibal Sanchez. I'm displeased with his ratings. He just keeps losing potential. He's not gaining on his current ratings. He doesn't look like a very good pitcher to me right now, but there is the possibility he'll come up as a long reliever mid-season, depending on how our bullpen shuffles out. Kuo and Melanson are going to be stoppers. I mean, that was pretty much a lock. These two guys are our best relievers right now. Gregerson, Wilton Lopez, Brandon Morrow, Eric O'Flaherty, and Archimedes Caminero are going to be our middle relievers. I'm particularly relying on Gregerson to develop a little bit and have a good year, and on, I guess, honestly, Morrow to have a good season, so we'll have to see about them. Henry Rodriguez, we're just putting him in the cleanup role. He's going to be essentially pitching when everyone else is tired or when we don't have a high leverage situation. But yeah, that's going to be our team. So let's head into opening day. Oh, right. Gotta put these guys on our 40-man roster. And we will play day one. So here we are against the San Diego Padres. We are going to be facing Ivan De Jesus at third base, Mark Ellis at second base, Kevin Kuzmanoff at third base or first base, Kit Pello at right field, Rafael for college shortstop, Reed Johnson at left field, John Hasso at catcher, Mark Kotze in center field, and Jerry McBride on the mound. Good potential, but not a good current pitcher, and I mean, he's not bad though, but I think this should be a pretty easy opening day win for us. We've got a good team, we've got the better pitcher, we've got the better lineup, and we are a very strong team, so let's see what we've got going. All right, De Jesus is going to bat first against Greinke here. Let's hope for a good out. 1-2 count. Can Greinke strike out our first opposing batter to begin the season? And he will. Greinke with the first strikeout of the season. Perfect. Awesome start. All right, Ellis is up. This ball will be in play. Right field should be an easy play out there for our substitute Guzman. We got Kuzmanoff up now. This is probably the most dangerous batter of the inning, and I accidentally shifted the wrong way, but it's right at the second baseman. I believe we've got Cano at second base, and Tulo is in third. All right, Mauer leading off to start our season. 2-2 against McBride here. Little chopper pop fly out to shallow center. That's going to be caught. Troy Tulowitzki, 1-0 count. That's another looper into shallow center, caught by Furcal, and Freddie Guzman, 2-2 count. And up the middle, it's a base hit. The injury replacement, Freddie Guzman, is going to have the first base hit of our young season. All right, Mike Trout's up. I'm actually going to try to run and hit to get Guzman into scoring position. He does have blazing speed. The pitch is in, and they're not even going to try to throw it over there. Guzman will steal easily, and we'll do it again. All right, Trout. He swings and misses, but Guzman is into third, so any hit will score a run here from Trout. And Trout, he shoots it into left field. Mike Trout has the first RBI of the season. Good to see Trout going already. All right, we're actually going to have Trout steal as well with Votto up at the plate. The pitch is in, and they are just having a real hard time stopping our base running here. Mike Trout takes second unopposed. All right, Votto draws a walk, and now we got Bartlett up. So two guys on. Our two-out rally is going strong, but Bartlett will strike out, and the inning will end. All right, now we'll do until runners in scoring position. Okay, so Greinke with another lockdown inning. Unfortunately, we will not get any runners into scoring position in the next inning. And an immediate leadoff double by John Josso. So Mark Kotze is up, their number 8 hitter. We got the pitcher next. That's going to actually split the gaps, and Kotze will also have a double. So a little bit of bad luck there as the Padres will strike back and tie up the game. Fortunately, we've got the pitcher up. I'm going to put the corners in case he tries to bunt, which seems likely. 2-0. And we... Oh my gosh! An error. That's just... Oh my gosh, that's painful to watch. I'm not sure who that was on, but not good. Full count to De Jesus, and that's going to be down the line. The Padres keep applying the bleeding as another run will score on that double. This is just not a good inning. I'm going to intentionally... No, Mark Ellis is not a good hitter here against Greinke. I'm going to infield in, shift left, though. Hope that we can stop a potential runner from scoring the balls in play. It's to second base. An awesome play by Cano. And that will save a run. I'm going to intentionally walk Kuzma off. Here he looks dangerous. And now we have the force out at any plate. Hopefully we can get a double play here or something. 1-2 count. It's a fly ball left field. Oh my god, and another error. Mike Trout with the error. Just a really bad job by the defense in this inning. No questions about that. And that's going to be past the infielders, loaded up on the left side to score 2 more. The defense doing a real bad job here, as Greinke just cannot get any kind of help on what should be at least not super difficult plays. 1-2 count, and we finally get a double play ball. As our shortstop Bartlett will get the job done. All right, well, we've got Guzman and Trout in scoring position. We're going to try the double steal here with Votto at the plate. And no throw. Any hit will score a run, but Votto's going to draw another walk. Okay, we'll take it. Bartlett, he's a good guy to get a hit. That's a fly ball left field, and the bases will be left loaded as we can't get the same kind of luck the Padres have been. All right, Kotze doubles, presumably, and that brings out the pitcher, McBride. I'm not too worried about McBride. 1-2 count. Oh my god, you've got to be kidding me. A home run by the freaking opposing pitcher. What the heck is going on in this game? He's a horrible hitter. What the heck? Greinke, one of the best pitchers in the league, allowing a home run to one of the worst hitters in the league. The Padres are having a literal miracle of an opening day against Greinke here. And another hit. What the heck is going on here? This has to be like literally the worst possible outcome that could have occurred on this day. Okay, let's hope we can get some offense in the inning. Perfect. Greinke gets on. I mean, he's actually a good hitter, though, as opposed to McBride. And then Taveras doubles, bringing up the top of the lineup, Joe Mauer. 0-2. Mauer chops it to left. That's going to be caught. Greinke's probably not going to score. And now we got Tulo. 1-1. Let's hope we can actually capitalize. Oh, my gosh. And we fail to score again. Finally, another clean inning. All right, we got Trout and Votto on for Bartlett. I believe Votto and Trout have reached literally every time they've been up. Yeah, that's impressive. Good job for Trout and Votto. All right, Bartlett, he has yet to be successful with runners on base, and he's going to ground into a double play to kill another rally, which we seem to have every inning and yet fail to score. Reed Johnson will steal second base on Mauer's insane arm. I don't really know how that happened. And Kotze's up. 0-2. Greinke with the strikeout. Perfect. All right, we've got Chase Headley now. 1-2 count. And Greinke strikes him out. Perfect. Awesome job by Greinke there. No runners in a scoring position in that inning. And Greinke locks him down. He's at 103 pitches. It's going to be his last inning of the day. The game's not really close. I'm going to bring in Henry Rodriguez. Okay, we've got Mauer and Tulo up. We've got Guzman up. He's actually having a really nice day. 1-1. Fly ball to left field. His heroic day will unfortunately not continue here. Trout's up. He's having another really good day. 1-2 count. Ripped up the middle, and Mike Trout's 3 for 3 on his major league debut. Votto's up. He's had a perfect day as well. 1-2 count. And that was literally the worst time for Votto to not succeed. Bartlett 0-2. Is he going to strike out? Bartlett continues to be a rally killer as he pops out to end the inning. Man, this is like literally the worst possible way that opening day could have gone. I literally do not think it could have been any worse than this luck-wise. Reed Johnson doubles in a run. I mean, I guess this isn't surprising. Henry Rodriguez is genuinely just a bad pitcher. Oh, shoot, wrong shift. Hasso will hit one deep to left, but Trout ranges over and makes the play. They're still going to advance the runner, though. Kotze's up. 2-2 count, and he strikes out looking. The inning is over, and we've only got 2 more opportunities. Cano with a leadoff double, and we've got the pitcher Henry Rodriguez up. Obviously, we're going to pinch hit for him here. We'll bring in Bonifacio, who is our go-to pinch hitter. And we will get Wilton Lopez up in the bullpen, assuming that we do not come back, which I don't think we will. Okay, full count to Bonifacio, and he draws a walk. Perfect. All right, we've got Willy Taveras up now. And let's see what we've got going. 1-0 pitch, fly ball to left. This is going to be caught. No hit for Taveras. We're not going to try anything foolish here. We need a lot more runs than that. We got Maurer up, who's got 80 contact versus left-handed pitchers. 2-1 pitch, and it's a ground ball to first base. They're not going to turn the double play, though. Maurer manages to get there quickly enough. Tulowitzki's up, full count. And his great start to the year will continue as he draws a walk. Freddie Guzman, can he be the hero again? First ball in play. It's ripped into left field, down the line. At least 2 runs are going to score here. Okay, yeah, I think we go for this. And Freddie Guzman, bases clearing double. Mike Trout is at the plate, and we are within striking distance. Okay, actually, I'm going to see what Mike Trout's at-bat is, because I don't have too much hope yet. We're going to hit and run, get Freddie Guzman his 3rd steal of the game. He will take third base with ease. 2-2 to Trout. He's 3 for 3 already today. Fly ball to center, and it's going to drop in. Mike Trout. Mike Trout, ladies and gentlemen. The Arizona Diamondback legend, starting off his career 4 for 4 on opening day, his MLB debut, playing the part of the hero. He's got a walk, too. He's just been incredible. All right, we're going to get up Melanson. We're going to get Melanson up, and we're going to have Trout steal second base. He's going, and he's in there. Mike Trout with the steal second base. I believe that's his 2nd steal on the 3rd steal on the day. Mike Trout, ladies and gentlemen, 4 for 4 with a walk. He's got no extra base hits, actually, and 3 steals in his Major League debut. All right, Joey Votto, one of the best hitters in the National League, 1-1. And that's going to end the inning. But we get 4 back, and we're within striking distance now. We're going to put Mark Melanson in the game. I'm going to sit Wilton Lopez down for the time being. And with a little luck, we can claw back into this one. Okay, Melanson shuts him down. We've got Bartlett up here. I'm going to get Kuo up. If there is another inning, he's going to be the guy we'll want, and we are definitely pinch hitting for Melanson when the pitcher spot comes up. Bartlett, 0-2 count. He's having a really rough day offensively, and he strikes out. Just a horrible day for Bartlett. All right, Cano. First ball will be in play. He pops it up. It's not looking good, guys. If Cano can't get on base, it is not looking good, because our pinch hitters are not quality guys. All right, Gabriel Gutierrez, the catcher. He's going to come in. He's our best bat off the bench right now. 1-0 count. It's ripped, but the second baseman makes a nice play, and we will lose an opening day game we should have had easily. Just really bad luck for Greinke. He did his job. 6 strikeouts to only 1 walk and 1 home run, and yet 4 earned runs with 2 unearned as the defense lets him down. Pretty good day for Melanson, too. 2 strikeouts with no walks or hits or anything. And, of course, with the freaking pitcher hitting the home run. Mike Trout, though, with a very successful MLB debut. Freddie Guzman having a good day. We just didn't get much from our regulars, ironically. So hopefully that's not a trend for going forwards, with the exception, of course, of Mike Trout's debut. Real exciting stuff to see the guy that we hope will be our perennial MVP of the future having such an outstanding start to his season. Anyways, I'm going to probably try to extend Arrieta before we go on. I'm going to look at doing some other stuff, and then we are going to continue the season. All right, everyone, we have done it. We are going to be extending Jake Arrieta for 9 years on this contract. It has good potential. Less than 10 million a year for a guy who could be one of the league's premier pitchers. I'm happy with that deal. So hopefully we can get Arrieta to develop into what we are hoping to see from him. As expected, Arrieta has signed his contract, so he will be sticking around with us, presumably for the next 9 years. I actually just realized he might be a Silver Slugger contender too with his ratings, which is interesting that we got a couple of pitchers who can hit. So, yeah. I forgot to do the first month update, but the team has been pretty much hovering over a little better than 500. The Dodgers are running away with the division right now. It's not pretty. Mauer has taken a major step back so far, so hopefully there is a lot more production to come from him because that would be really unfortunate. Tulo has not progressed like we'd hoped, even though his ratings keep getting better. I'm sure there's more to come from him, but right now it's not looking pretty. Trout has stepped back since his opening day massive debut, and his defense improved. His ratings are continuing to improve, but his production just hasn't been there. That's been the case for pretty much the entire team. Just like last season, a lot of underperformance. I'd say Bartlett, Cano, and Tavares are really the only players playing at the level I would have expected from the hitting side. Greinke's about there for the pitching side. Morton's doing what I expecting from the pitching side. But Josh Johnson's, I called up Sanchez because we had an injury to Jake Arrieta that's going to cost him pretty much the whole season, I think, if not the entire season. And Masterson, it's been disappointing. The bullpen's been disappointing. Melanson's been good, but Kuo has not been as good. Lopez has been really bad. Gregerson hasn't been what we hoped. And Henry Rodriguez has actually been not as bad as I was expecting. The home run rate's been somewhat acceptable. He has improved, which is good to see. For a quick prospect update, Chris Sale continues to improve. He's dominating AAA, and he is well on his way to coming up soon. Sean Kelly in AAA looks like a very good relief option. Clay Zavada, he's improved. He could be back in the majors anytime, realistically. Newbie, not doing too bad. David Robertson, not doing too bad. Aroldis Chapman, he's been reasonably successful. His stuff has pretty much hit its potential. Nothing major in terms of huge prospects going on right now. We're just waiting pretty much on relievers at this point, which will be massively impactful to the organization. Markakis has returned from injury and has been all right. And Guzman, pretty much the entire time Markakis was gone, was just mashing and stealing tons of bases. He's taken a few steps back since moving into a utility role again, but he was just really good as a starter. Pretty much one of our core pieces of the offense, actually. The big hope is that we can get our offense to really perform to the level we'd expect. I mean, we're underperforming like in terms of our base stats, and we're underperforming our uh, offensive output in terms of runs scored. So disappointing to see that we're not doing better. Our runs against is actually also really bad. We're lucky to be where we are with the way our team is played, but we're just better than this. We shouldn't be doing this. So hopefully coming up, we do see our team turn it around. Okay, we've got a major trade here with the Astros. We are going to be sending over two of our franchise players in Robinson Cano and Nick Markakis. This one's obviously difficult to stomach, but I'm just not loving Markakis' defense. Both of these guys are really pricey, and Brendan Duffy is a nobody, but the return is the much coveted Hunter Pence. I have been talking about for a while how badly I would love to add Pence to the roster and replace Willy Taveras. Well, guys, the Willy Taveras over era is coming to an end. He's probably still going to be like a utility outfielder or something, but Hunter Pence is obviously going to step into the field for us and play excellent defense and be an excellent hitter. He will also be getting extended, no doubt. And we're also going to be picking up Nick Punto to replace Robinson Cano in the short term. He'll probably actually play third base with Tulowitzki sliding back over to second. and a couple of relievers in the deal. Overall, this one's just a big improvement to our money in the short term and the long term. Acquires us a superstar and a lot of good supplemental pieces. Anyways, with that, we will head on to what I believe is going to be another blockbuster deal following this one. Okay, this is another major acquisition for our franchise. Essentially, Jason Bartlett is starting to lose a step at shortstop, and although he is very cost effective and a very good player still, I think he's being overvalued in trades. Kuo, I mean, we've got a year and a half of him left. He's a great reliever, but is he really that valuable to our organization, even if he is really our only reliable shutdown guy at this point? But Ian Kinsler, on the other hand, is probably the best defensive infielder in the game at the moment, with, in my opinion, the only better defensive player all around being maybe like Tavares and Pence. But Kinsler is going to play shortstop for us in the long term. We're also picking up reliever Drew Storen, who will help lessen the sting of losing Kuo to some degree, as he could be a pretty high leverage reliever at some point and is having quite a nice season with Texas right now. So this deal brings us another superstar. Hopefully we can get Kinsler to a long-term deal and have both offensive and incredible defensive production from him in the long term, especially considering, I mean, he's already having an incredible season with what I would consider to be below average offensive numbers for him. So, yeah, a couple of major acquisitions for us, building up a franchise caliber team, and hopefully we can parlay this into a World Series win. All right, well, Hunter Pence wanted a very big extension, and we're going to give it to him. This is going to be the deal. I don't really care about the opt out and the option towards the end of the contract. At that point, he's ancient. He's probably going to be traded away by then anyway. But I am glad that we get to retain one of the league's best players, if not the league's best player, for a while. Okay, so this is what our team is going to look like for now. Hunter Pence is going to be playing right field since we don't really have anyone to, at the moment, immediately replace Willie Tavares. So he will be sticking around in center field. We're just going to have a ridiculous outfield defense for the time being, with Trout and left as well, having a actually surprisingly a negative season defensively. Ian Kinsler's going to slot into shortstop, a position he hasn't played before. He'll have to train up, but I'm confident he'll be very good once he has. Tulowitzki is going to slide back to second base with Punto taking over at third. And we're going to be putting Storen into a stopper role, as he has had a very good statistical season up to this point. I want to see if he can keep that going. We're going to put Melanson into our lead stopper role, as he has developed pretty nicely, and I'm confident he is going to be our elite closer of the future at this point. So that's a good sign of things to come, and ideally, this newly rebuilt team can do even better than what we had going before. Okay, we're going to be making a pretty nice trade here, trading away Brian Matus, who's basically just starting pitching depth, and Ollie Linton, a utility outfielder who's probably never going to amount to anything, in return for Jack Wilson. I'm not really sure what role he's going to play with the team right now, but I think what we're going to do is stick him at shortstop, move Pinto to a utility role or something. We're also acquiring Al Albuquerque, one of the better relief prospects in the league. I have hopes that he can turn into something pretty good for us in the long run, and we're getting $2 million out of the deal as well, so that's a pretty nice add overall. And yeah, we'll have to. I'm going to look at some more trades since we're at the deadline, but I think we pretty much got the team set for now. Okay, we're going to be making an interesting trade here with the Detroit Tigers, sending over Eduardo Nunes for Mike Young, uh, Casey Finn, Brian Perry, and Frank Garces. So this is essentially just a reliever haul for a player that is now excess for us, and getting a player who basically fills the exact same role. So yeah. All right, a minor deal here. We're going to be sending Mike Young, who we just picked up from Detroit, over to Colorado for Juan Nicasio, a starting pitching prospect, and $3 million. So pretty solid pickup for a guy that didn't really mean too much to our organization. All right, this is what our team is going to look like after the trade deadline with these new acquisitions. So we are going to be starting Jack Wilson at shortstop. Nick Punto is going to move into a utility infield role and start at DH when we're playing in the American League. Tulowitzki is going to move back to third base. Kinsler is going to move back to second. And yeah, everything else will remain the same. All right, we are at September call-ups, and we've only called up pitchers. I don't really have any hitters I'm too interested in calling up right now. So the big thing is Chris Sale is officially going to be landing a rotation spot. He had just a ridiculous year in AAA, sporting a strikeout rate almost at 11 and a 191 ERA plus 5.7 WAR over 175 innings. I'm really excited for the future of what should be our ace very soon. And losing his rotation spot is going to be Josh Johnson. I thought he was ready to make a big leap forward and be a quality front rotation starting pitcher type guy, but he lost his movement gains. He just hasn't improved like we hoped. He's had a horrible season statistically. I've given up on him. That's really sad too, because I thought the potential could be there. We've called up a lot of good relievers who should help us out. Sean Kelly is one of the biggest ones. Clade Zavala is the other. These two guys are going to be a big boost to our bullpen. I mean, pretty much outside of Mark Melanson, who's actually having a really good year, we've had a whole bunch of guys with negative WAR, not even accounting for Henry Rodriguez, who's just he has not been the man walking as many guys as he struck out. And yeah, it hasn't been pretty with him. But ultimately, uh, we've had a good amount of success offensively lately. Hunter Pence hasn't quite settled into the same level that I'd have hoped he would yet. Ian Kinsler has been exactly what we hoped for, actually. I mean, I really can't say I would have wanted anything better than that. That's pretty ideal. And Joe Mauer has come into regular Joe Mauer level performances. Walk rate's a little lower than normal, but otherwise is pretty much what I was hoping for this season from him. Really, it's just about our pitching. If we can get the pitching together, the offense is fine. It's just horribly unlucky. We're fifth in WOBA. We are first in stolen bases and fourth in base running rate, and yet we're seventh in runs scored. So we're getting horribly unlucky on offense. That should turn around. And that's with guys like Tulowitzki and Trout just horribly underperforming where they should be offensively. So there is a lot of room for success on offense. But the good news is we are currently slated to be in a playoff spot. We're 15 games out of first in the West because the Dodgers are ridiculous, which is exactly what we were trying to prevent here. But it's happened. The Dodgers are a 700 team. They they signed Dan Herron this offseason. He's a Cy Young candidate. Chad Billingsley is once again a Cy Young candidate. Kershaw is a bust, fortunately. He's not going to be real life Kershaw. They've just got a ridiculous rotation that's actually performing. Their lineup is very good and performing. They're having the season we were hoping to have, essentially. So we'll go to the end of the season. Hopefully, we'll make a playoff spot and then work our way through that. I'm not super sure how we'll do in the playoffs, but I've got hopes, so we'll see if we can meet those. All right, the regular season is over. We are heading into the playoffs. Mauer won the batting title for the third consecutive year. Hunter Pence is a likely MVP candidate with his strong season offensively and defensively. We just barely eked in, only a game over the Cardinals. It was tough competition at the top, and our team still managed to underperform. We are going to be facing the Dodgers in round one, who won 16 games more than us. I think we're a more talented team, but obviously we've still got to prove that. A big thing, two guys I really want to highlight here. Troy Tulowitzki has almost hit his ceiling in terms of development potential. He had a great stolen base rate. His defense is awesome. So we just need the bat to perform to the ratings, and he's an MVP candidate, but we just haven't had that. He has not had one average or better season with us yet, which is really surprising. Mike Trout, who's not actually one of the guys I wanted to highlight, continues to improve, but he too, it looks like we probably should have left him in the minors another year. I don't think he was quite ready for major league pitching with his season. And last, we've got Chris Sale, who is unfortunately ineligible for the playoff roster, having not been on the regular season roster until the very end of it. But man, what a year. He comes up, he strikes out 9.5 per 9, zero point 0.7 WAR in 5 starts. An outstanding job by Chris Sale. He is going to be nailing down a spot at the top of our rotation for a while. His stuff improved. during his big league stint, which was very nice to see. And with that, we shall get the playoffs started and hope for the best against our opponents, the Los Angeles Dodgers, who we just finished the season against. All right, game one. We got Zach Greinke against Chad Billingsley. And we will take it. Our ace, Zach Greinke, manages to eke one out, striking out 5 across 7 innings. No walks. 1 home run is the only run he allows. Wrong button there. Let's see how our offense did. So it looks like Mauer, Pence, Kinsler, and Votto each got a hit. Votto got a walk as well. Tulowitzki had a big day. That's good to see. Trout had a pretty solid day. Actually, looks like he was the key contributor. He probably won player of the game. Not a surprise that the bottom of the lineup wasn't too good. Actually, Greinke won the player of the game, which probably deserved. He did do quite a good job. Okay, now game 2 against Dan Heron. We lose that one. That was Anibal Sanchez on the mound. I'm not surprised. He pitched poorly. That does not surprise me either. Oh, how's King Felix looking? Okay, his ratings haven't dropped off too much when he comes back from his torn labrum next year. I still have a feeling we can hope for big things from him. And Arrieta, oh man, he really tanked. We may need to trade him at this point. That is a shame. He tears his rotator cuff after already starting to decline and loses his entire future with our franchise. That is a huge shame because we really needed Arrieta to have a good career for us. All right, Clayton Kershaw, our next opponent, and we win 6-7 against Kershaw with Charlie Morton on the mound, so our number 2 pitcher. And we actually had to claw back from allowing 6 runs in the 4th. Wow. So Morton has a really hard inning. Just cannot stop allowing hits in that inning. But Josh Johnson comes in and is effective out of the bullpen. Storen keeps him scoreless through 2. And Gregerson comes in to pin it down. We got a good performance from Trout again. He could be playoff series MVP if we come out with the win. Tulowitzki having a good game again as well. And it looks like Trout was in fact the player of the game for this one. All right, we're up 2-1. Can we put the nail in the coffin of our division rivals against Paul Mahomes? No. We will lose 5-0 with Justin Matheson on the mound. That's not really his fault. That's our lineup just not getting any production going. Masterson doesn't pitch well at all, actually. He did a really bad job. Morrow does a bad job. And Masterson is somehow still player of the game. What the heck? That's so strange. I think that calculation's got to be messed up. Paul Mahomes just pitched better than he did. And the last game, game 5 of the series, this one is going to decide our fate. Zach Greinke against Chad Billingsley. I don't know why it thinks Billingsley is better, but it does. I think we're just going to be running our starting lineup out there. And obviously Greinke is the starter. I would never be changing that in the playoffs, so here we go. All right, Mauer leading it off against Billingsley. We are, unfortunately, the road team being the lowest seed in the NL this year. No one count to Mauer here. Ripped up the middle. This is going to be an easy play, though, as the center fielder's right there. We got Hunter Pence batting second here. He had a huge season, so hopefully he can continue that in the playoffs. Ground ball to third base, and Hunter Pence, with his speed, he beats it out. Ian Kinsler is on the 1 pitch. Lots of balls in play early here. Rips to the second baseman. They're not going to be able to get Pence, but Kinsler is out of first. And Votto here, 1-2 count. Fly ball, deep left field. It is going to be off the wall. Pence is going to come in to score. Votto's riding second. He's heading for third. Joey Votto, RBI triple, giving us the early lead. And Tulowitzki, he's been a hero in this series. Can he keep that going? 2-2. It's into the right field gap. Tulowitzki is doing it, guys. He's going into second, and it's an RBI double. 2-0 lead. Mike Trout, he's been a hero in the playoffs too. 2-1. Fly ball left field. It's going back. Oh my gosh. It's another extra base hit. Mike Trout, Tori Tulowitzki, guys. Trout's coming into third. He flies around the bases and gets himself an RBI triple. The inning is not over yet. Jack Wilson, can we get another run in? 2-2. It's up the middle, and Jack Wilson knocks Mike Trout in 4-0. All right, Zach Greinke is up. He is one of the better pitchers in the National League. 1-2 count. He does strike out, but the damage is done. 4 runs is going to be tough to come back from for the Dodgers. Chipper Jones, however, does manage to double. He's been a problem all year. Andre Ethier is up. He looks dangerous. Full count from Greinke coming. He walks Ethier. That is not what you want to see. Not usually something you get from Greinke. 1-0 to Colby Rasmus. Fly ball. It's popped up. Should be an easy play. And we've got Tulo on it. All right, Carlos Santana up. 2 outs, 2 men on. 0-2 count. Greinke, he winds, he delivers, and he popped it up. It looks like we've got the shortstop on it, and that is going to be the inning. Willy Taveras, he gets on, and he steals second right away. Maurer up, full count. He rips it. It's going to split the gaps, and Taveras will come in easily to score. Maurer will be into second, and we have a 5-0 lead. Billingsley just does, or not, Billingsley's already out of the game. The Dodger pitchers just do not have it today. Hunter Pence is on the plate now, a very dangerous hitter versus lefties. And it's ripped. Deep right field, going back in. Hunter Pence makes it 7-0. The Dodgers are never coming back from this one. But they do manage to get out of the inning without any more damage. Greinke with a clean inning. Clean inning from the Dodgers pitching. Greinke with another clean inning. They're bringing in Dan Herron as a reliever. And he has already pitched in 2 games for the series, winning both of them. But, of course, he can't win a game that the Dodgers are never coming back from. Hunter Pence is on second base. It looks like he doubled with 2 men out, and we've got Ian Kinsler at the plate, a dangerous hitter. 1-0 count, ripped to the third baseman, but this is going to be out. All right, Greinke back to the mound. He's been effective so far, but he allows a 2-run bomb to Carlos Santana. Still, he gets out of the inning, and here we are again on offense. Votto with a leadoff double. Troy Tulowitzki at the plate, 2-1 count. Ground ball. The pitcher will have it, and Tulo beats it out. It's an infield single. Ike Trout, can he keep it up? The playoff heroics from Tulo and Trout. 1-1. It's a ground ball. It'll be a double play, but we do get the run in. Jack Wilson now, 1-0 count. And the shortstop will just ground out to second base to end the inning. All right, but we do tack on to our big lead. Greinke, leadoff triple to Jimmy Rollins. Luis Valbuena is up at the plate now. And I think we're pretty much just going to have to accept that Rollins is going to score. All right, full count to Valbuena. This is not what we wanted to see. Another runner as Greinke walks in. D. Gordon at the plate. He is a dangerous hitter. 0-2 count. I can't imagine this is a strikeout, but it is a ground ball to shortstop. They get one, but they're not going to get Gordon. He is much too fast. Chipper Jones, always a dangerous hitter. 0-1 count, and they're going to try to steal. D. Gordon successfully steals second base. 2-2 count. It's ripped to left. Going back is Trout, and he's got it. He'll get the ball in quickly, and Gordon will not advance. Big play there by Trout. 0-1 count to Ethier. Fly ball to center, and this should be easy for Taveras. That'll end the inning. All right. Maurer and Pence are on base for Kinsler with 2 outs here. 0-2. Ripped into right field. It's going to be extra bases. At least 1 run is going to come in to score. Pence has got some speed. Very deep. Pence is a good runner. Matt Kemp has a cannon. We got 2 outs. We're going for it. And Pence will score. Ian Kinsler with a 2 RBI double. And we extend our lead even further. Votto at the plate. Full count. He's going to pop it up, and that will unfortunately be the end of the inning. But we continue to pad our ginormous lead here. Greinke, he's going to allow 2 base runners. We got Matt Kemp at the plate. Kemp, like just about every hitter in this lineup, is dangerous. 0-1 count. It's past the first baseman, Votto, into right field. Pence is going to gun it in, and they will not try to score, but the bases are loaded for Russell Martin. 0-2 to Martin. Popped it up. This is going to be out. Perfect. Great job by Greinke there to get that pop out. Jimmy Rollins now, not too dangerous. 1-1, hoping for the double play ball. Fly ball to center. Taveras is going to come in. His arm isn't too strong. He's going to gut it in. It's coming home, and he got him! Taveras with an amazing throw. Guns down the runner and saves a run. All right, another inning here. They're going to pitch cleanly, actually. Greinke gets through the inning. That's going to be his last. It's not too high leverage, so we'll bring in someone a little bit lower leverage for the rest of the game. I think an Eric O'Flaherty can probably close this one out. All right, no more offense from that inning. We're going to bring O'Flaherty in. And Matt Kemp, Russell Martin are on base for Jimmy Rollins here. Actually, we will have one more inning after this. 2 walks, actually. And in third walk, Eric O'Flaherty struggling with the command here as he walks 3 guys to load the bases. Jim Loney up. Ground ball to second, and we've got him. Kinsler gets the play made, and that is going to end the inning. All right, let's get up. Let's get Caminero up. Joey Votto with a 2-out double. Mike Trout at the plate. Full count to Trout. He flies it to center, but a nice play will save a hit and probably a run as the inning ends. All right, we're bringing in Caminero. Can he finish the game out? He's going to allow Chipper Jones and Andre Ethier to reach. Colby Rasmus at the plate. We're going to go double play depth, hope for an inning or a game-ending game. 1-2, ground ball, Kinsler, Wilson, and that is the double play. We have won the division series against our rivals, the Los Angeles Dodgers, in a big offensive outburst. Greinke pitched a pretty... actually, he did not pitch a very nice game. We were lucky he managed to be so successful with only 1 strikeout. Wow. Yeah, but big game for the offense. Hunter Pence, Joey Votto, Troy Tulowitzki, great job. And now we will go on to the championship series. Hope to win our first game, or our first World Series of the series. And yeah, this is good though. This could be the end of the Dodger era and the start of the D-back era. All right. The Atlanta Braves are going to be our opponents here. Charlie Morton will pitch game 1 against Jared Jurgens. Pretty solid starting pitcher here, actually. This is definitely one of the better young guys in the league. And Charlie Morton will come out with the, this is bad. Mauer is out for 5 to 6 weeks with a hamstring strain. He's going to miss the rest of the playoffs. And our backup catcher is Gabe Gutierrez. We literally do not have a backup catcher anymore. He's going to have to catch every game for the rest of this the playoffs, and he is miles worse than Tulowitzki. Or not Tulowitzki, than Mauer. This is bad. I mean, literally, our next option might be calling up Kenley Jansen and putting him on the 40-man or on the playoff roster to catch for us. But we do have a game up on the Braves, which gives us the advantage in the championship series here. It's going to be Anibal Sanchez against Tommy Hanson in game 2. This is a pretty solid pitcher. It's going to be a tough game to win for us. But we do, 7-1. The offense coming in big time, and actually pretty nice, pretty solid game by Sanchez despite all the walks. He only allows 1 run. And game 3 against, our old ace, Brandon Webb. And what a season he had in Atlanta, too. Glad to see he still got it. But hopefully he doesn't have it here against us, as he's going to face his former teammate and comrade atop the rotation, Zach Greinke. This is going to be a good pitcher's duel. And we will lose 9-4, so Greinke probably he imploded. 4 runs in 6 innings, 10 hits. That's not really his fault. Just bad luck there for Greinke and probably the bullpen too. But 6-5 win in the next game. We'll put Charlie Morton on the mound against Jurgens again for what could be the series clinching game. And we do it. 4-1 series win against the Atlanta Braves. And we will be heading to the World Series as the National League Championships. Willie Taveras evidently at least considered for the series MVP. All right, and our opponents are going to be the Boston Red Sox. John Lester will be pitching game one. This is terrifying to me. Daisuke Matsuzaka. Okay, he's not as good as I feared he might have been. Josh Beckett will be in game three. Oh man, Beckett's pretty good too. Javier Vazquez will be game four, and then the rotation is going to turn over. This is a pretty strong rotation. Let's take a look at these Boston Red Sox real quick, though. All right, so their lineup is Corey Patterson in center field. Wow, that is a bad center fielder. I'm not too worried about that at all. They do have Dustin Pedroia at second base. Behind Ian Kinsler, he is probably the best second baseman in the league. David Ortiz is still kicking it at first base. I'm surprised he hasn't moved to DH yet, but having some pretty nice offense out of Big Poppy. We got Manny Ramirez. He's still hitting, but he is playing the field. They've got two DHs on this team, essentially. We haven't even seen their actual DH yet, but obviously Manny is a great hitter. JD Drew, they actually have three DHs on this team. The offense is dangerous, though. All of these guys can absolutely hit. Jed Lowry, solid fielder, not a bad hitter either. Had a good season for the Red Sox. Austin Kearns, this is a pretty solid right fielder. You got Alex Cintrone, who is a Diamondback, at least for part of his life. At shortstop, this is not a great defensive team, though. That's one thing I have no doubt in my mind about. These Red Sox are not going to be stunning us with their gloves. Jonathan Papelbon's still their closer, so that's going to be dangerous. They've got Heath Bell and Joe Nathan leading up to him, too. Man, that is a dangerous bullpen. Mike Minor in the pen. They've got Tim Redding. They've got Jose Valverde. They've got Jesse Litch. They've got Koji Uhara. Man, they've just got everyone in this Red Sox bullpen. This is actually that's going to be this team's big strength for sure. Their pitching and their hitting. So even without a strong defense, this is going to be a real tough series for us to top the Red Sox and take our first World Series. But game one, we will take. Zach Greinke wins it for us. And the offense manages a pretty good performance. Troy Tulowitzki, who else? He continues to have the playoffs of his life. And Greinke puts up a really good 11 strikeout game. 2 home runs allowed, but nonetheless a very successful game by Greinke. But Melanson did pitch 2 innings in that game. He's probably unavailable for the next one. All right, let's see here against Leicester. 8-3, we come through. Charlie Morton keeps them a complete game by Morton. Perfect job keeping them to 3 runs across a full game. Trout has an awesome game. Wilson has a great game. Taveras has a great game. Awesome job by the team. All right, game 3, Javier Vazquez. We lose 6-3, that's all right. We win 11-8. Perfect. So another victory for our team. This is mostly offense. Masterson is a rough game. Gregerson and Melanson aren't great either. But everyone in the lineup is hitting except, the guy who never does. So very good job by the offense in that one. And Josh Beckett, we win it. 4-1, your World Series champion Arizona Diamondbacks for 2010. Oh, what a year. An awesome job by this franchise to pull out a victory in their darkest hour. In 2011, the D-backs actually do go on to win the NL West division just before the Dodgers' 10-year consecutive run of winning the division. So now we're getting into the good times. Hopefully we can take this World Series and build upon it with our incredible core to win many more going forwards. All right, with this season concluded and going into next season, I think the big things that we're going to be looking at are acquiring a second baseman so we can move Kinsler to shortstop long term, and Tulowitzki, or we could acquire, probably what we're looking for is actually third baseman so we can move Tulo back to second base. But that is really our only major need. We're probably going to be looking for prospects, pitching depth, relievers in particular. Aroldis Chapman could be a call-up possibility. We got a lot of relievers actually knocking on the door, so that's good news for our organization. And yeah, those are going to be the big ones. We might have to look at expanding our money somehow as well. We don't have a terrible amount of money. We're in the red in terms of our available money for next season. But not a bad finish, winning the World Series in our third season. Something to build upon going forwards. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.